Guess what? It's Aha Monday. My name is Oginga Carr, and I am the CEO of Epiphany Consulting, LLC, and I want to welcome you to another Aha Monday. This is our little place of the internet where we get to talk about positivity and where we get to feed some positivity. You know, I notice one of the first things I do when I get up in the morning is that I pick up my cell phone. That's one of those things. And I look at, and if I get on Facebook and look at things, I see all of these different negative things that feed into it that are there. And so that was one of the reasons why we created Aha Mondays. It's just to have a positive place on the internet where you can take a look at something that's positive. We can look at the news, we can look at a lot of different places. Those things are important, but we want to be able to figure out how do we have some positivity, because it starts our week off on the right way. Because what we're doing here is we're building a team. What's the name of our team? It's called Team Crushing It. What are we crushing? We're crushing those obstacles that are in front of our goals. We're crushing those timelines. We're getting there faster than we ever thought we were going to get there. And we're really crushing life. I'm just so excited about the things that are going on within our lives and the things, the partnerships that we're creating and who we're working with. And I just want to thank you for being a part of our team. Thank you for giving me just a little bit of time during your week just to check these things out. And so we're so very appreciative of that. We got a lot of really great feedback off of last week's Aha Monday, talking about what is your outlook and how does it affect your outcome. And so we're actually taking a little bit of a swing here for the next few weeks of Aha Monday. Understand the fact, I am a movie lover. I love movies. I like to get a chance to get out and take a look at them, so I have some favorite movies. And what we're going to talk about are lessons that we have learned from movies. What are some lessons that we have learned from movies? Because when we're thinking about getting to our goals, which is what all about what Aha Monday is all about, is how do we get to our goals? We're always trying to figure out how do we get there. So sometimes we have to look at and find inspiration from different places. So anyone who knows me knows that I love the Rocky franchise of movies. There were tons and tons of Rockies. I think they're actually making Rocky 7 now or whatever now, along those lines. But when I was a kid, I was actually born when Rocky 1 came out. So I didn't actually see Rocky 1 in the movie theater, of course, but it was something I watched later on. But when Rocky 2 came out, it was one of the movies that I saw, and probably one of the first movies that made me fall in love with the actual movie experience. Well, Rocky 3 is actually where he fights Clubber Lang, made by Mr. T, who was with Clubber. I pity the fool that he was talking about with that as far as Mr. T. That's my Mr. T, my Mr. T impersonation with that. But in Rocky 3, Rocky is a champion. He's already become a champion. He started to get some of the trappings of life. To understand that, for those of you who haven't seen Rocky, if you haven't seen Rocky, shame on you. Rocky was the people's champ, basically. And so he was a bruiser, a guy who just kind of walked through punches. He'd get punched all the time, took a lot of punishment, but just continued on. Didn't win on pure grit and strength. Didn't win on talent, but won more so on pure grit in strength and just being able to do so. So he got a chance, he became champion. And so he had all the trappings, he had all the beautiful, nice things and all those different things that were there. And Mr. T, Clubber Lang, Clubber Lang was really basically another version of Rocky. He was just hungrier. He was a big, tough dude, and he was really hungry, and he just really wanted to fight and wanted to do so. And Rocky didn't have that hunger anymore. And so he fought Clubber Lang the first time around and got beaten. Okay, so he got beaten and got knocked out by Clubber Lang. His manager had a heart attack and died during the fight. He was gone as well too. So it was really a dramatic situation that was there. But it took him going back to the basics and figuring out what it was that drove him, what it was that gave him the hunger, what it was that gave him that eye of the tiger, song that goes along with that. But to be able to figure out what is it that made him who he was. What is it that made him who he was? He trained with a former foe, Apollo Creed, and all of a sudden, he started to put it together. Now, in movies, these things happen within 20 or 30 minutes. In our life, This may take months or years. But many times what we're trying to figure out is how is it that we put ourselves back together? Now we face an opponent that was stronger than we ever thought it was. We face something that we couldn't defeat in the way that we normally defeated things, because we have a way of how we do business. We have a way of how it is that we work towards our goals. And we take this way and we figure that the way works. But what happens when the way doesn't work? That's the problem. What happens when we can't figure out exactly how to get there? Sometimes we got to reset and actually go back to our basics and figure out. We have to ask people to help us. And many times it's not just us. And so now we have to figure out, how is it that we're going to get to that goal? How is it that we're going to get past whatever this blockade is that's in front of us, whatever it is that's blocking it? So whatever it is that's stopping you from losing weight, whatever it is that's stopping you from getting further in school, whatever it is that's stopping you from getting through in your job, all those things. These are those blockades. Those are those Mr. T's. Those are I pity the fools that are there in front of you that are stopping you. But what we have to do is we have to take a step back and say, what is this? How do I step around this? How do I change? How do I do something differently? And so that is key and important in our lives. That is key and important in our businesses. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, what are the things that are stopping you from succeeding? What is the thing that feels so strong that it can stop you from getting to wherever it is that you want to go? Think about those things and share with me on our Facebook, on our Twitter, on our LinkedIn, on our YouTube. We have tons of ways to talk to us via social media. Email me at oginga@ogingacarr.com. You can hit me there. We talk business. Of course, I run an HR consulting firm, so we work with organizations how to structure themselves from a team aspect. But these little videos are things just for us as far as positivity. How do we get through the next point of the week? And that's the thing. So we want to be able to figure out, how do we do that? So figure out those things, send those in to me. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.